My F27 partner F29 has extreme reservations about my passion project. We have been together for almost 5 years and were best friends a couple of years prior to that. While I am currently in between jobs, I have always been an artist on the side. An artist who, over the last 6 months, has been fiercely pursuing an idea for a passion project after almost 5 years of consistent art block. So for me, this is an even bigger deal than just simply having an idea. I was extremely grateful to have this passion turn into something so much bigger, and it has only just begun. Admittedly, my partner is an incredibly big part of this, as she is my muse and is constantly inspiring me and the characters I create with her wisdom, refreshing outlook on the world and moral values. She is an incredibly hard worker, working overnights in an intensely physically and emotionally demanding job while supplementing it all with a small, but just as important, day job 1 or 2 weeks out of the month, depending on demand. I find it important to note she does not have to have this second job for income purposes, though we differ in opinion on that, as I have not been out of work for long and am simply transferring hospitals, but she has plenty of debt. We are in the same field, but she far outweighs me in skills and rank. I feel this is all relevant, as a huge part of her lack of emotional availability is her constant exhaustion and financial pressures. She did not start out this way. In fact, prior to the last couple of years, she was incredibly supportive of everything I did and loved, including my fandom and the passion I had behind it. Coming with me to conventions, watching the shows, truly involving herself as much as she could, and while literally every single other passion of mine has remained an interest of hers, at the very least, this one, the most important one to me, has simply ceased to be anything more than a threat to her, which is why this situation hits me so excruciatingly deep. Though we agree on many things, there is a fair amount of opposites attract in our life. We simply don't share the same likes and needs all the time, but I have actively tried to invest myself into as much of her as I can. I asked questions, involved myself, and worked very hard to force myself to enjoy the things she liked until it was no longer being forced. She has opened me up to so many brand new experiences. And yet, for her, there simply isn't a lot of passion in her heart. She doesn't fall in love with movies or shows, characters or fandoms the way I do, but that is how her brain works. She's incredibly smart, too smart for her own good sometimes, and she overanalyzes everything, including herself. To be fair, a lot of this stems from experiencing consistent disappointment in her youth, and she is working so hard with me to explore herself now that she finally can. Learning to enjoy the world is a brand new experience for her, so I was taking all of this very lightly at first. While I cannot explain all of the facets and nuances of our relationship here, just know, even from what you have read above, we both mutually agree that we are soulmates. I love this woman so much it's not even funny, but this newfound feeling of dread and longing is undeniably tearing me apart inside, and I do not know what to do. So, over the course of a couple of arguments, I learned that one. She felt thr.ned by the project's consumption of my time. So I actively worked to give her as much attention as possible when she's around. Honestly, not being able to just be in the same room together while I draw is extremely hard for me personally. She feels if we aren't doing something together, then we are not enjoying each other's company. She has admitted how dependent she is, but struggles to maintain good control over it. 2. She feels that since this project cannot make any money, that it is pointless to pursue so feverishly, but I feel I can make money off of it by using my monetized YouTube channel. And 3. The one that kicks me straight in the gut is, every time I talk about it, or even bring it up, even just a snippet of something extremely cool I thought of, she shuts down. She doesn't have any true response to give, nothing to add or say. Ever. And I know this is not just the way she is, even though that's what she said to me when I bring this up, because anything else I speak to her about she actively engages with. She denies this, but a lot of the times underestimates my insight on her. Now, for Christmas, I begged her to let me read her what was ready in my story. When she agreed, I physically sobbed, like a baby, clutching my chest and everything, because this thing is so important to me and I wanted the most important person in my life to be a part of it. That's all I want. I'm not asking her to love it and be head over heels and ask about it every day or even always engage with me about it, but, I feel so hollow and empty inside, knowing the one person I care about most in this world doesn't even ask about it. The sting deepens further when I see my friends and their significant others having real, fully engaging conversations about their D&D characters or their favorite anime. Not once has she ever asked me about this thing. My heart wants to say this is more than just, she doesn't care. It is blatantly obvious, and I do not know why. She has said when I preface things with, "You probably don't want to hear this," or, "I know it's stu.id," but it makes her not want to listen even more, so I have actively tried to work on that as well. Which again is wild to me because if our roles were reversed, that preliminary sentence would make me want to hear her out more. Prove to her I care. But the roles are not reversed. There is the added fine detail that she explicitly told me she didn't want to know anything about it until it's done. Which I reminded will take years to complete, but then, at one point, she added, I don't want to have to read it more than once. And in the same breath said she would love to see it animated. I am so confused here, folks. Every day I struggle with this gnawing question. Why can't she support me in the one way I have communicated? What did I do wrong? I know she may be a little jealous that she doesn't have such clear passions, but why not indulge with me then? As she has stated previously that, anything I like she likes. Except this project. I feel like I'm drowning. All I want to do is tell her about all of the cool little details and fun ideas I've had. Share some of it and get some feedback from the brain I love to pick the most. I just want her to be a part of it. Why is it so hard for her to put in any effort to be a part of it? Am I asking for too much? Also of note, I am not going to end this relationship for this project, but I am also not going to end this project for the relationship. What on earth do I do? TLDR. My partner tries to actively engage in my passions except for the one passion that means the most to me. Please help.